Yo, 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 Ram fans, welcome to Swollapalooza Thursday. I'm Steve Ivy with another edition. Thursday nights. We've been doing this for several months. Have a good time. I'm going to disappear for a minute because before we get started and get into the show too much, I want to make sure we minutes. So anyway, that's my ode to Monty. I will probably bring him up once or twice from between now and the end of the season. Um, he made my night. I still think Bourbon the Whippet should have won Best in Show. I think Bourbon was just an absolutely beautiful dog, and a giant schnauzer just doesn't make sense. So anyway, welcome. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the music I opened with. It's a it's a song that from my teenage years, and I'll give $1 to the first person. If you want to throw it in the comments, I'll give $1 to the first person that tells me the name of the band that sang that song. I'm not even going to talk about the title. I didn't play it with all the great lyrics, but obviously the word fire is in the because is in the title because the show is Liddy. We know the show is Liddy. So um, anyway, welcome. As I said, we're going to do 30 minutes with Nique. Um, and it was a great interview. I really had fun doing. I tried to get him on the show on Monday morning, but we just had a heck of a time with schedules, and he had a birthday. He had they didn't have much time to get ready for Utah State. You know, they played Saturday Saturday evening, Saturday at 8 o'clock at night. Game finished at 10:15. They had to be on an airplane by Monday. So they had 2 days between the end of the San Diego State game and having to get on an airplane to go to Logan. So he didn't have a lot of time. I appreciate him bending over backwards and joining me yesterday. They didn't get back into town until about 2:30 in the afternoon. I had Nique pre-recording at 3:30. So what a young man. I appreciate what he did for me. And you'll enjoy the interview, I hope. Just one more thing before I start the interview, just a little housekeeping. Please, if you can, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the show on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you obviously, if you're watching on X, you probably already follow me. But if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching a replay of the show, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Also hit the like button. That really helps with the algorithms. The more the merrier. I'm having fun building this community. The more the merrier. The more communication, the more people we get involved, the more fun we have, and the like. So anyway, without further ado, and like I said, I'm waiting for comments. If you can name the artist who did that song I opened with, you're gonna get $1 from me. It'll be a nice dollar. So anyway, let's start the Nique interview. Let me just say one thing. Well into the interview, about 2/3 of the way into the interview, I had a technical issue on my side. So Nique was coming through loud and clear, both video and audio, but my video went out. So you will not see me for a little portion of the interview with Nique. You will hear me. So anyway, I apologize for that. It's the first time I've had a technical difficulty from my side. So let's get the interview with Nique started. It'll go about 30 minutes, and I'll come back and we'll talk some more about the interview. If you have any comments, questions, great. I'll also talk a little bit about the upcoming Wyoming game on Saturday afternoon. So, here, without further ado, here's the interview with Nique. Hello, Ram fans. This is Steve Ivy, and I have as my guest Nique Clifford. Nique, thank you so much for joining me. I know you're a busy man.
Nah, most definitely. I appreciate you having me.
Well, it's I tried to get Nique. This is Wednesday. We're doing a pre-record for my Thursday night show. I tried to get Nique on Monday after the Orange Out game, and he's been very accommodating, trying to fit me into the schedule. But this is a very crazy time of year with games coming fast and furious. I know. So thank you so much. What time did you guys get back last night?
Well, we were supposed to get back last night. They ended up canceling our flight because of weather and stuff. So we ended up leaving today at 1. So we just got back actually like an hour ago, did some treatment, and then I just got back to the crib.
I'm believe me, I'm very grateful. I didn't, I figured you might have problems. The game went late
Yeah,
for a variety of reasons. You're probably not aware it started 15 minutes late because they had to finish up the Westminster Dog Show on TV. That's what held the game. That's what held the start of the game up. It wasn't a game
really.
before yours. It was the dog show.
What in the world? I did not know that.
They had
I
to
did
name
not
the
know that.
best in show. Well, we're glad you're back. Let's talk about last night's game. It was a tough environment, tough game. Your thoughts, just overall, and where the team is at after last night's game.
Yeah, like you said, tough game for us. We didn't start off the game very strong, and I think that's kind of what killed us. We had too many turnovers early, and Utah State capitalized on our turnovers. Defensive breakdowns, just little stuff, getting their shooters going, and once you see a couple go in as a shooter, like you start feeling good, and I don't think we did the job early, and so we got ourselves in a hole and had to dig out. We still fought to the end and had chances to make runs and come back, and um, that was definitely good that we didn't quit. But that's not in our DNA to quit. So I was proud of us in that sense. But we definitely got to be better coming out from the jump.
Have you ever played in a game where a team started like 7 for 7 from three? Did it feel like did it feel? I mean, I thought I saw the first one go in, and it was Ian Martinez, and you were on him, and you closed out really well on him, and it wasn't like he had a good look. And when I saw that one go in, my first thought was, oh no. And then one,
Yeah.
two, three, they hit the first seven. Have you ever had a game like that?
I Not that I remember, man. They were hot. They were hot from the jump, and yeah, some of it was on us, like breaking down or like maybe taking bad routes on shooters. But some of it was just credit to them, man. They were making tough shots. But yeah, they got off to a really hot start. It was crazy.
What if I I haven't talked to you about this. I've talked to other people in previous years about what's the environment like as a player in Logan, Utah.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. They do a really good job. Their student section, like, man, they do research on you. Like, they got facts on you that you don't even think they would know. Um, they're really in sync. Like their student sections in sync, like having chance and different stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a great environment to play in, and as an athlete and competitor, like that's what you live for. So always a lot of fun playing there.
So, that you mentioned that you guys it's not in your DNA to quit, and it's in your DNA to fight to the finish. It seemed you guys started getting a little bit of traction in the first half. Were there any adjustments you made, or was it just keeping staying with the game plan and just doing it better?
Yeah, I mean, we switched up some of our game plan at times, maybe like switching ball screens or different stuff like that to just try and throw them off. Originally, like a guy like Fazlov who got going from the 3-point line, originally we're playing him as more of like He's a downhill driver type of guy, but we had to adjust a little bit when he started making a bunch of threes. We got to get to him, run him off the line a little more, not let him get open looks. So just more personnel stuff, as well as some of our ball screen covers, but most of it was on us, just beating ourselves. So we just needed to execute the game plan better.
Yeah, they came out and then they came out and they punched you again early in the second half. You guys kind of slipped back to you'd cut it down to 12 and I think 15 at half, and then it slipped back up to 20 or 22. And then you
Hmm.
started reeling them in again. And I thought a
Yeah.
lot of that was you guys executing the offense, but a lot of it was you kind of taking the reins and really stepping up from a leadership perspective. Did you feel the need that you had to do that in the second half and try and bring the team back?
Yeah, no, I definitely knew we needed to get going. Just trying to get on certain guys that maybe needed a kick in the behind to get us going. And guys like Croc really stepped up. Ethan came in, brought huge energy for us. And I think they kind of changed the game for us and got us going. Um, I think the issue for us was just we couldn't get stops, even in the second half. Um, we started scoring and figuring out their zone because they play a weird little zone. So we knew early on it would be tough to just get in the flow and just figure that out. Once we got going and figured the zone out, like we were flowing offensively. It was just like you said, those runs where we would score a couple, but then we couldn't get the stop to get over that hump, unfortunately.
Well, you got it down, I think, you got it down to 8. And then there's actually, I pointed this out to somebody last night. You were down 9 inside of a minute, and there was a play that happened, and it got ruled a flagrant one foul against Utah State on a hook
Yeah,
and hold against Ethan.
yeah,
But what would have been interesting was if Lake had hit that shot, the shot would have counted, and I think they still would have called the flagrant one.
yeah,
You would have had the 2 free throws, and then you missed. They said they ran an inbounds pass play for you, and you just missed like a short
yeah,
6 or 8 footer.
yeah,
But had you guys could have had legitimately, if Lake had hit that shot, you might have been able to get 7 or 8 points in that one possession. And I pointed out only because the fight toward the end, it's amazing the little things that can happen to drive. I don't know if you guys talked about that after the game, but that could have been an 8-point play and brought you back within 1.
not yet. It's crazy you say that. Like, yes, if Lake did make that shot, and then Ethan hits his 2 free throws, that's 5 right there, and then I make the shot that I miss. That's 7 points. I think we're down, what, 2 or
You would have
3
gotten it
maybe.
to 2, and then you would have fouled the right guy, and they wouldn't have made more than 1, and you would have had a chance. And
We would have had a chance, yeah. And so that's the crazy part about basketball. Like anything can happen. Like you always got to keep pushing to the end. And I think it was just too late that we started playing like really hard, like trying to trap and be more aggressive. I think we probably should have done that a little earlier. But we live and learn from it, and we gotta move forward.
yeah, well, you ended up having a heck of a game. 24, 16 rebounds. You had more than half the team's rebounds. So it was a great effort. I know the start wasn't what you wanted. And you knew it was going to be a tough game, right?
Yeah. Nah, yeah, we knew it was gonna be a dogfight, and that's a real good team over there. So, there's not a lot of room for error when you play good teams, and they made us pay for our mistakes. But
So,
the good thing is they got to come see us again at the house. So, I think we'll be well prepared when they come back to our place.
speaking of that, speaking of coming, having to come back to Moby, you had the same situation with San Diego State, where they beat you by double digits in San Diego last month, and you had them back here for last Saturday. and played what I thought was probably I don't know if it was the best game from a technical perspective, but it was the most consistent game I thought you guys have played all year against a very, very good team.
Hmm.
And we talked after the game. I wanted to have you on because I wanted to talk about we don't lose wearing orange. What's it like wearing orange?
Man, wearing orange, it's special. It's special. Like, I've only got to do it. This is only my second time, but just seeing like the crowd, how much energy they bring to us, and how bright it is in Moby. Like, it's so much fun playing in orange, and then just the legacy from guys who have played before us. Isaiah, Roddy, and the guys even before them. I think what's our record, like 14-2 in orange. So it's like, we want to keep that tradition going, and it just brings a great vibe to, I feel like, everyone playing in orange.
I always joked with Isaiah. I tried to buy one of his game worn jerseys, and I said I wanted his orange one. He said, "You can't have that one. That's mine. I don't lose. I don't lose in that jersey." And I
I
think he
remember you
wants to be
saying that.
buried in it.
Hey, that's a special one to him, most definitely.
Well, the other thing was, that the San Diego State, a great opponent. Um, didn't we? Was the orange out last year against San Diego State? I was trying to remember.
Nah, it was UNLV.
UNLV last year.
UNLV, yeah.
Okay. I remember a UNLV one in the COVID year. But this one, this is the fourth one I remember that was against San Diego State, and every one of those games has been special. This is the only one that seemed to come down to the last 10 seconds because you guys played so well down the stretch. What's the we talked earlier, and I've talked with a lot of the guys on the team. November, December, could you guys have won that game down the stretch in November?
Man, it would look a lot different. I don't know. Um, we've grown so much since then. Um, we had some close games just like that, and we weren't able to capitalize and end up winning. So, I don't know if we win that in November, December, but that shows the growth that we've had as a team and being able to, fight through and handle adversity when it hits us, and just find a way to win at any cost.
You got that, you hit that big three to push the lead to 8 with about, what was it, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes to go on a
Yeah,
play where I didn't even see I just saw you make the three, and next thing you know, I see a San Diego State guy on the ground on the other side of the paint and Miles Bird holding his face. What
yeah,
happened on that play? I never saw a replay of it either. What happened there?
yeah. I don't even know what happened to the other kid. I know for Miles, like I was running through, and then the big man Magoon Guath, he like bumped me. And then like I bounced off and like threw my hands up, and I guess Miles Bird was right behind me, so I guess I bumped him and I must have hit him in his face on accident, and I just happened to be wide open after that. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, but I checked up on him after. He said he was all right, but yeah, that play was kind of wild. I don't know what happened. Everybody was laying on the ground.
Yeah, but the key was you made the three. You guys built the lead to 8, and then they came storming back and cut it to 3. And at that point, I thought you guys played just a phenomenal last couple of minutes, defending well, uh, handling the ball, doing what you needed to do, like you said, to win the game. And you kept them at bay. They never really had a shot to tie you guys, and I thought that was just a fantastic close. What do you think that? What was there a key play there or anything you remember, or was it just the team just playing together for 2 great minutes?
And I mean, really at the end, like we weren't really scoring like that. Like I missed a couple shots, or we had some turnovers and stuff that I turned the ball over. But like really our defense, we were just getting stops, which were big time. And then I remember that last play, Rashawn being a freaking man on that rebound, getting a one hand rebound on two dudes, like that really closed the game out. And then he made his two free throws, and Um, Coach made a great call to go zone, and it wasted their last like 23 seconds. Cut it down to like 4 seconds by the time they got a shot up, and so we just executed really well at the end of the game without even scoring, like just making plays on offensive glass and getting stops.
Yeah, you like you said, the team struggled. There was a period where both teams were kind of struggling to score. Um, and I just watching from what I was watching, and I sit 7 rows right behind the bench. It looked like both teams were playing so hard that they were tired. Were you feeling it at that point? It was like 3 to 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Everybody was a little tired. It was a hard fought battle. So if you're not tired, I mean you're not playing hard. But I was gonna push through regardless. No matter how tired I was, we was gonna push through to win that game, and that's the fun part about it. Competing, just competing, playing hard, fighting through fatigue.
So just a great finish and a great win. You'd come back home after a tough game in New Mexico where you hung with them for 30 minutes. Um, oh, looks like I've frozen a little bit. Oops. Browser has lost the connection to camera. Make sure you have the right camera chosen. I do. You might not see me. I might have to fix this. I can see you and hear
Yeah,
you.
no, I can
Um,
still hear you though. I can still hear you.
anyway, the uh, the New Mexico game. What was the experience like for you down there this year?
Yeah, that was a tough one. I didn't have my best game. Um, definitely could have played better, but I thought despite offensively like not playing very well, defensively I didn't even play super great either. Um, Despite all that, we had a chance like the whole game. We were right there with them, and then Donovan got going towards the end of the game, and they started making a lot of shots. But I felt like we played a really good game overall for the most part up until that last like five-ish minutes or whatever. They um, definitely wasn't a 20-point game in my opinion.
Yeah. So that was everybody talked about. That was the beginning of the second half of the season, right? You guys finished 8-2, and then you played probably the what many consider the toughest stretch of 3 games, and we've talked about it with a variety of people.
Mhm.
But it's kind of the second half of the year, and this is money time for you, right? You got Wyoming next, you got Nevada next, you got UNLV next, you've got a whole slew of great games coming up. Is this kind of from your perspective? I mean, you're closing out your college career. Are you really? Is this the time for Nique right now? Money time for you?
Shoot, I just want to do everything I can to win games. I feel like these last 7 games, we got a chance to win all of them, and so like my goal is to win out, and I know that's our team's goal as well, is to just win out the rest of the year, set ourselves up for the conference tournament, and who knows what's gonna happen with the rest of the teams. New Mexico could lose one, Utah State could lose one, like anything can happen. So I'm just focused on one game at a time. Um, just doing everything in my power to help our team win.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on a tear. I have a banner running with your stats. Your season stats are great, but the last 7, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, that's an unbelievable stretch of basketball. And then the last 3 against the three teams that are probably right now considered the NCAA tournament teams in the Mountain West, you've gone 18-3-3, or 18-13-3. I'm sorry, just a phenomenal stretch. You're doing your part. What do you think? You want to win, obviously, the last 7. I know this team has been committed to pretty much improving on a daily basis. What are the 2 or 3 areas you think the team's really got to lock in on over the next? It's just getting ready for Wyoming. What are the 2 or 3 areas you think you got to lock in?
Yeah, I think the biggest things for us and our success, all the games we've been successful, we take care of the ball, we defend at a high level, And I think those are the two main things we just got to continue focusing on. Like we're gonna get good looks offensively. I'm not as worried. It's really just keying into getting stops, especially down the stretch when we need them, and then just taking care of the ball. You saw it in the Utah State game. Like if we take care of the ball, um, even like what was it? I think it was like 10. It was like almost like 10 turnovers in the first like 5 minutes or something. That you cut that in half. By halftime we're probably down like 7 points at the most. So, those things really just change the dynamic of the game. So I think if we just focus on continuing to take care of the ball and defend, I think the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah, the Utah State game, there was a number at one point. You guys had 9 turnovers, and they scored 19 points off those 9 turnovers, and you guys had scored 0 off of their
Yeah.
turn. It was 19-0. I think it was the first 12 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
which was the game, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 100%. So yeah,
So
that killed us.
yeah, so the tough start, and then you end up only losing by 9. Like you said, the offense came on. So anyway, as you wind down, this is it. You got 4 more games in Moby. What are you looking forward to? And just personally, your family comes up, the crowds. What are you looking forward to these last few games in Moby?
Just excited to, that's crazy. You say 4. I didn't even realize there's 4 and Moby left. That's wild. But just want to take advantage of the opportunity I have to play in front of our fans. There's such great people and true supporters. They come out and support us all year. So super excited to play in front of them. I'm really excited this Saturday. Some of the guys are coming back to town, so that'd be really cool. Joel Scott will be back at the game. I'm sure Joe P will be there. I think Isaiah potentially was talking about coming back. He might have a little break. So, that'll be really special if all those guys are back and just be able to play in front of them. But just want to make the most of my last couple opportunities to play in front of our crowd.
I know when I talked with Zay last fall, and we talked about I had him on the show, and we talked about his career at CSU, and he said, he said 5 years, and I can't believe how fast it went. It's amazing, isn't it?
It blows by. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was hoping, to actually go to the game last night. I was
Oh,
going to go
really?
out and spend a few days in Utah, go to
Okay.
Logan, and then because Zay was supposed to play in Salt Lake City with his G League team today and tomorrow, but he injured his foot,
I
so
did see that.
he couldn't play. And so I decided if I couldn't see Zay, if I couldn't lump it all together, I'd just postpone and figure out a way to maybe see another game on the road. But I was really hoping to get to Logan to see that game. But I'm looking forward to these last 7. I love this team. I've told people all along, and I don't know if you've been on. I'll ask you this in a second about whether you've. Well, I'll just ask you right now. Have you ever been on a team that started the way this team did and has come as far as they have?
Uh, I think I have, but no, I think just the growth of our team has been definitely really special. It's different than what I've been through before. Um, and just the potential we have, like how much better we can even get from where we're at right now, is that's the really cool part. Is like we're not even where we're gonna be by the end of the season. So I'm just excited for our continuous growth and just how far we have come from the beginning of the season.
I think that's from a fan perspective. My joy has been, I started watching early on in the summertime, and then watching in
Mhm.
November and December, and watching this team grow, and it's so much better. But it's the commitment on a daily basis that I've been able to uh, see when I go to a practice and watch the team really work hard, and the focus of this team in getting better is I find just amazing. And you've been you've gone from I'd say you came here from CU, you became an integral part of last year's NCAA tournament team, and you've gone from that integral player to team leader, and it's been a joy watching you grow as well. Not just and it's not just the points and rebounds, but it's the growth as well. And
Thank you.
I know you've worked hard. I know that's been an important part of it. The other thing I wanted to mention, which I think is really interesting, is it seems like the rebounding thing is finally getting much better. And I remember you telling me over the summer you thought this team could be a really, really good rebounding team, and it took a while.
Yeah, yeah, nah, I agree. It's definitely coming together. Like we have guys that can rebound. Like Rashawn's really good. He can be a really good rebounder. Croc is a really good rebounder. Ethan, even from the guard position, I feel like Kyan can be good and different guys. So it's a whole team thing. But we've showed flashes of it, but we got to continue to be consistent.
Just one last question. How, how do your parents find the time to get to every game of yours? And I saw them on TV last night. They were on FS1 during the broadcast.
Man, I don't know. They crazy. They be traveling. But my mom actually something with her job, she actually is able to fly for free. So that's part of the reason that they're able to go so many games is because my mom flies for free. And then, a lot of the places that we end up playing at, I got family in, so they get to, come support me, but also get to hang out with some of my family here, see different people. So it's a cool thing for everyone, just bringing everyone together.
It's definitely a joy having them in the arena and having the whole Clifford gang there. I'm going to let you go. I've used almost 30 minutes of your time. I didn't realize,
Oh,
I really do appreciate you coming on, given the fact you
uh,
just got back into town, man.
no, it's all good. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
But anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thanks again, Nique. I will see you. I'll probably stop by practice tomorrow, or I assume you're going to practice tomorrow and Friday. I'm sure you're off
Yeah,
today, right?
yeah, tomorrow on Friday.
All
Tomorrow on
righty.
Friday.
Hey, thanks, Nique. Have a great rest of day. I will see you between now and the border war in Moby Arena.
That sounds like a plan. I appreciate you.
You bet. We'll see you, bud.
All right.
I'm back. That was a pre-recorded interview with Nique Clifford, as I said. Sorry, I lost my camera. I have no idea what happened. That's the first time it's happened. But I love talking to Nique because he is very thoughtful. You don't get these canned answers. You heard a bunch of stuff about what happened during the Utah State game with, for instance, Mason Falslev played as a downhill driver and started making every three that he saw. And he's not a guy that normally shoots better than about 35%. He ended up hitting his first, I think his first four. And CSU adjusted and they started shutting him down a little bit, just like they started shutting down everybody else a little bit. But bottom line is, when you talk about Nique, there were a few things I thought in that interview that were great. But he talked about, I asked about the fatigue thing during the San Diego State game, and he just talked about how you just have to push through and you just have to find a way. That's the thing that this team is starting to learn. They didn't have that in November and December. They've learned how to take care of some of the details, getting that important rebound, getting that just not letting the other team, on defense, just staying between you and your man and taking the other team out of the offense. If you look at the last 25 seconds of the game against San Diego State, CSU went to that zone, and they weren't going to give up an easy three. And San Diego State used 20 of that 25 seconds before they could throw up a three, and they missed. They did get a putback by Magoon Guath with 4 seconds to go. to cut the lead to 3, but basically by then it was too late. As long as CSU inbounded the ball, which they did, they were going to win the game. So great, just the way they played that last 25 seconds, the way they played the last uh, 3 minutes or so with San Diego State, known to come back in all kinds of games this year. And if you look at the next game San Diego State played, they went down by 17 points to San Jose State on the road, scored the first 17 of the second half, and then came on and barely hung on. They won by 3, but they come back on everybody, and CSU was able to fight off a little bit of a surge by San Diego State in the second half, and then like we talked about with Nique, pushing through those last few minutes. I just love talking to the young man, and we're lucky to have him. If you're not planning to go to any of the last 4 home games in Moby, I would recommend it, and give the guys, especially the guys who are going to be playing in their last games. That's Nique Clifford. That's Jalen Lake, who I've had on the show 3 times. That's also graduate transfers, Ethan Morton and Bowen Bourne, who are very important components of this team. We saw the comment from Don earlier about when Bourne starts hitting his threes, and he will, helping off the bench, this team will finish great. It's an interesting team because little by little, piece by piece, they're getting better and better. Bowen is getting a little healthier. He's had some injury problems. We need to keep this team healthy, but more importantly, I hope people can come out and support the people who will be playing their last games in Moby. We've got Wyoming and then Nevada on Tuesday night. We go on the road to UNLV and Air Force, and we come back home with Utah State, and then finish on senior night with San Jose State. And Nique is it's an incredible story. Came here after 3 years at CU. Really didn't play much as a freshman, played more as a sophomore, moved into a starting role, started most of the games his junior year, but really wasn't what I would consider. I would categorize him as he was a role player. He wasn't the guy that they had other guys that they focused on. They had KJ Simpson and they had Tristan Da Silva, 2 very good players, and their offense seemed to be those 2 guys. And Nique came to CSU wanting a chance to develop his game, and he's done more than develop his game. He's developed as an individual as well. As I said, an integral part of last year's team, made 3rd team all conference, should have made the all defensive team, all Mountain West defensive team, didn't, but did make 3rd team all conference. And then this summer, really, I remember asking Coach Medved, are you going to use Nique as, Nique showed off his passing skills last year. And I asked if he'd be getting involved with distributing the ball a little bit. And Nico looked at me and said, well, not really, because I need him to be a scorer. And a scorer he's become. And if you look at what he's done, like I said, the last 7 games, 20 points, 11 rebounds, still 5 assists a game. Still a great passer, but consistent scorer all year. He's been the man. He's the top of the scouting report, and it's been a joy to watch him not just develop those scoring skills. He's always been a great rebounder. He is the top rebounding small forward in the nation. He averages, like I said, almost 10 rebounds a game. But for his size, he is an incredible rebounder. And then, like I said, a good distributor. But the real thing that's been fun to watch with Nique is watching his leadership skills develop. I have the benefit of getting to go to a practice about once a week. No one works harder. No one is more focused. He might screw up every once in a while. They all do in practice. And every game, he isn't the absolute perfect player every game. We've seen him struggle in a couple of games, but no one plays harder. No one leads more. And the players really look up and they really count on him. So I hope that people will find a way to come out and watch. He's headed, I think, This is a hard prediction. This is always a hard prediction, but he's on a lot of first round draft boards, on a lot of NBA mock drafts. Sometimes they hold the age against you. He's, I believe, 22 or 23. Sometimes they like to go after 18 and 19-year-old kids that have athletic ability and have not demonstrated a damn bit of ability to play the game properly. But a good chance he's going to be a first round draft pick. We don't have a lot of first round draft picks at CSU. We had Jason Smith back in 2007. We had David Roddy in 2022. And so Nique could be the third first round draft pick of the last 18 years. I would recommend, just come out and support. That Orange Out game was great with the sellout. You heard Nique talk about that. Just the sheer volume of orange and the fact that we never lose in those uniforms. Well, hopefully we won't lose in the whites or the greens on senior day either. So the other thing I'm going to mention, it's not till the Utah State game. That will be Fight Like a Ram night. I will make sure I talk more about that leading up to the game. That's on March 1st. That is a very, very important game to me. If you know me, those of you that don't know me probably aren't aware. 3 years ago, I was just starting to recover from, I had colon cancer about 3.5 years ago, had a chunk of my colon taken out and had to go through chemotherapy. And just a little over 3 years ago, I got to participate as one of the people in the Fight Like a Ram game, where the players wear cancer warriors' names on their jerseys. That is a game that's near and dear to my heart. And I still think it's as much as I love the Orange Out and I love the State Pride game, that Fight Like a Ram game is very, very important to me. Obviously, the border war on Saturday will be a big game. Wyoming just about beat New Mexico last night. They had them by 10 at halftime, gave up a 10-point run, but then they fought like dogs too. That's the idea of fighting and pushing through. Wyoming figured out a way to fight. And New Mexico didn't take the lead until, I believe, 1:06 left in the game. Wyoming led for over 35 minutes. New Mexico led the last minute 6. Sometimes you'll hear some people talk about, well, sometimes you have to go on the road and steal one. Last night, New Mexico stole one at home. Sometimes you have to steal them at home as well. And that was the true definition of stealing a game, trailing for basically the first 39 minutes and then winning in the last minute. New Mexico, obviously the class of the league, but Wyoming have played very, very well. And I would expect they'd bring it to Moby, and I think we might see a good game. For some reason, it seems Wyoming plays good teams very, very well on the road. They took San Diego State down to the wire. They took Utah State down to the wire. They didn't take Boise State down to the wire, but they beat UNLV in Las Vegas. So they've played against the good teams. They played very, very well. So I expect a dogfight, and of course the border war, and of course we'll see if CSU can complete the sweep after they scored that great 16-point win in Laramie a month or so ago. Wyoming will be looking for revenge. CSU will be looking, as you heard Nique say, of starting a streak of 7 to end the season and go from there. So I also want to just mention, I apologize, I didn't do my Monday morning show. I had a hard time. Yeah, like I said, I tried to get Nique. I tried to get a few other guests. It was just hard to get guests, and it just didn't work out. So I decided to just cancel the show. Brady and I will be back on Monday with the Monday morning show. And then, but before then, I will be doing obviously my final score show after the CSU Wyoming game. I believe the game starts at 2:00 in the afternoon. It'll be over by about 4. I will start that show at 4:30. And then on Sunday, I will be doing my Mountain West weekend wrap show with Tom Moser. And if you are a basketball fan, you don't have to be just a CSU fan. If you like college basketball and like talking Mountain West, this is becoming, it's not just a fun show for Tom and me, but it's really becoming a great show. we've been averaging over 1,000 live people watching us. The fan bases around the Mountain West have really caught on, and it turns into a lot of fun. We get a lot of great comments. Tom and I usually spend about an hour breaking down the games. There are some great games this weekend beyond the CSU Wyoming game. It actually starts tomorrow night. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Nevada, I believe, goes to, let's see, Fresno State tomorrow. You have CSU in Wyoming. You have, God, I want to say UNLV at San Jose State. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And then tomorrow night or Saturday night, big game. The two teams that are tied with CSU for third place, Boise State and San Diego State, play each other in Viejas Reno in San Diego. And that game is at night. That is a big game. So CSU, if they beat Wyoming on Saturday afternoon, will be in a two-way tie for third with either San Diego State or Boise State. And then Sunday is, like I said, it's the New Mexico and Utah State. Utah State travels to Albuquerque looking for revenge after San Diego State put a whooping on them in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game in Logan. San Diego State trailed by 9, outscored the Aggies 45-15 over the last somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes. It was a very short amount of time, and ended up putting a 21-point pounding on the Aggies. And Utah State will be looking for revenge and looking to keep pace and move back into a tie for first place. So Tom and I will be doing our Sunday show approximately a half hour after that final game, and we'll talk about all 5 games. We'll probably focus on the top teams. We usually tend to focus more on the bigger games. We'll talk more about New Mexico, Utah State. We'll talk more about Boise State, San Diego State, and we'll talk more about CSU Wyoming. But we will talk about the other ones as well. And just to let you know, we're hoping to have a pretty exciting announcement on Sunday. Tom and I, with our show. As I said, it's a fast growing show, and we're hoping, like I said, we can share some fun stuff. In the meantime, I'm gonna. Oh, and the other thing, just to let you know, I will have right now, as long as things go as planned, and you never know if they do, but we'll probably have Kyle Jorgensen on a week from today on Swollapalooza Thursday. I was talking to Kyle about coming on tonight. Nique was, we're trying to work arrangements with Nique. I was finally able to get Nique to like I said, the young man is very busy, and I was just happy to get him. So I asked Kyle if he would mind moving, and Kyle said he'd love it. So we're going to have Kyle on next Thursday night. Freshman big from Minnesota. We had him on earlier this year, one of my first Monday morning guests, and we'll talk about what his whole journey this season has been like. As he said, I always think of it, freshman bigs, and you've heard me talk about it. You want to talk about the toughest position to play, and it's tough to come in as a big into college basketball, number one. And number two, it's tough to play the 5 position at CSU. It is a very complex position, and Kyle has made tremendous progress. But every day, every game he plays, there's a bit of an education for him as well. And we'll talk about what he's learned this year. It'll be fun because I think the world of him. He is part of the future of CSU. We are excited about this team. This team is not done. We're excited. We love the development. As I've talked about it on a lot of shows, and you heard Nique talk about it as well. And he thinks they still have some more growth between now and the end of the season. And I would agree with them. They get better and better, just a step at a time. But the focus on improvement, the intensity to make themselves better is there. But that's this year. We have a core of players that I am so excited about. With Kyle as part of that core, Rashawn Mbemba, with Jalen Crocker Johnson with Kyan Evans and Kyle. Here we go. Look at this. Looking forward to hearing Kyle's experiences in his first year. Thanks, Steve. From Tom Tedeschi. Tom, thanks for joining in and thanks for the comment. Next year, we will be joined by a 6'8" player named Docker Tedeschi. Docker is a top player from the state of Illinois. Docker can really score. He will get a chance to play his way onto this team, and it'll be fun watching him. So I think the reason Tom's probably looking forward to hearing Kyle's experiences in the first year is his son Docker's. I believe Tom is Docker's dad. His son will get to experience the same thing, so it'll be kind of fun. You'll be able to tune in next week. And I actually had Docker on Swollapalooza Thursday back before Christmas. He's a great young man. And we're really looking forward to get him and JoJo McIver here next year. They'll join that team, that young core. And we have some redshirt freshmen sitting out this year as well. This program, if you look at it, I'll pull some stats one of these days from Bart Torvik. But if you look at the freshman-sophomore group in the Mountain West, 3 of the top freshmen, sophomores in the Mountain West play for CSU, and Kyle isn't even one of them. That's the 3 sophomores. Kyle is a freshman. He's one of the top freshmen. And so 4 guys in the top 23 of the underclassmen in the Mountain West. We keep that core together, bring in guys like JoJo and Docker, watch Jaden, John, and Darnez, who are redshirting this year, join, and all of a sudden, and then I forgot Nicola Joppa. Nicola Joppa is another one. Keep that core together, and this team could be a lot of fun next year. I'm already looking forward to next year, even though we haven't even finished this year. Like I said, we got 7 games to go. We got Wyoming. We got the border war on Saturday. I'm excited about that. So anyway, hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you again to Nique Clifford for taking the time out of his valuable schedule. I'm going to call it a night. Go Rams.